Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Magic in the Midwest podcast. This is podcast number
9.
Number 9.
I think it's number 9. Yeah.
I think it's 9.
I feel good about it.
Okay. All right, so podcast number 9. I am J.B. Michaels, a best-selling author and award-winning author.
That's amazing. Yes. I didn't even know that.
Yes, you did. So, ladies and gentlemen, please go check out MrMichaels.com and HarrisonandJamesPublishing.com. Either one. Mr. is MISTER, Michaels.com. The podcast is brought to you by the works of J.B. Michaels. Check them out on Amazon or wherever you like to buy your books. And, please check out those websites. Also, a big shout out to our Bandcamp subscribers who also make this podcast possible. So check us out on Bandcamp at magicinthemidwestpodcast.bandcamp.com. I am JB, but I am also joined by the creator of this podcast. Go ahead.
Oh, me. That's me. Ashley Michaels.
Ashley Michaels.
Yes, I am the creator. I'm the creative, the accountant, organizer, and you just show up.
I show up
sloppily
and do my stuff with my brain. So we're sloppily. Yeah, I mean, I don't look good right now. Yes, Ash does the. Also, guys, really check out our Instagram. The Instagram is probably the best thing.
Well, I mean, it's just a little pick-me-up. I try to do stories where you vote, do you like this land or this land better, or what's your favorite, dining location on property, those types of things that we just love to talk about when you're a Disney fan.
Yes.
So I try to reply to everyone, and it's always interesting to see the votes.
It is.
And a lot of times those things I'm, posting are something that we've done a SmackDown episode on. So if you're a Bandcamp subscriber, you can listen to those, but another reason to subscribe, we have exclusive episodes.
Yes.
Where JB and I will debate, which is better out of two things. We've done a few lands too, meaning like Fantasyland versus whatever that one was, Tomorrowland.
Right,
and
right.
We talk about, which one we prefer, and it's fun. It's fun to do that kind of thing as a Disney fan. So check it out if you're interested to subscribe. It does cost you a monthly charge. Fee.
Yeah, $3.
$3. It helps us keep the podcast going. There are costs involved, so it's a way for us to bring you a quality podcast, but also for you to enjoy some of our awesome behind-the-scenes content.
Yes, which are often quite funny. They're quite funny.
Yeah, I definitely think that they're funnier.
Yeah, they're probably a little funnier. They're probably a little, well, not funnier. I don't know. I think they're fun.
I don't know. Why is that bad?
I mean, we're still funny.
But I feel like we're trying to get through a lot more information in these. Like, we talk about the history of things and stuff, and in those, it's more of like
just a face-off.
Light.
Right.
Yeah, and sometimes we agree, and sometimes we don't.
Sometimes we don't. Most of the time we don't.
But yeah, anyways, not to go on and on, but check us out. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Bandcamp, and that's how you subscribe. And we are working on something. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's kind of a little extra something.
Yes.
JB honestly just looked at me, guys, and goes, mouth the word what?
What?
You know what I'm talking about.
What are you cooking up?
I'm not going to say it in front of everyone.
All right.
Why are you the dumbest person alive? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, last week we talked about the Bay Lake and Contemporary resort hotels.
And a lot of people seem to like that.
Yeah, it was actually a good episode.
Yeah, we debated whether after Magic Kingdom we should sort of go on to Epcot, but we decided to do the Magic Kingdom resorts, and we got a lot of great feedback, so that's good.
Yes. It seems like the resorts are almost nearly as popular as the theme parks themselves.
Which makes sense when you think about when you go, and if you're the type of family or, person, couple, whatever, that likes to, I mean, part of going is picking the hotel, and you definitely can have a different experience depending on, which hotel you're at.
Right. So we decided that if you were to go to, there's a way to connect. We've talked about it last time. We talked about it last week. There's a way to connect from Contemporary over to the Wilderness Lodge. You could actually take a boat. Right in the back of the Contemporary on Bay Lake at the pier next to Contemporary Resort. You can take a boat on over to the Disney's Wilderness Lodge Resort. Okay, so that is what we are going to talk about today, Disney's Wilderness Lodge. And of course, obviously, we're DVC members, and there's also a DVC portion of the Wilderness Lodge as well, which I think is fantastic.
Two different ones. Right?
Yeah. There's actually two different DVC properties on the one property, in the one area of the Wilderness Lodge. So let me just say that the Wilderness Lodge is probably the most affordable Disney Deluxe Resort. Usually you could find rooms in the Deluxe. Disney has they have various different levels of their resorts. But I think lately they were trying to kind of blend those together. You know what I mean? You're not taking a picture of me, are you?
I have 12 filters.
Not this picture. Not now. I don't look
8 filters.
I don't look good.
I think everyone's used to that.
Ugh. Ridiculous. I'm trying to do my work here.
You just you're not focusing.
And she's taking pictures of me when I look gross. Okay. Well, I'm just going to
almost always.
Okay. So the Wilderness Lodge is opened in 94. Again, it's one of the more affordable Disney Deluxe resorts. And it is, first let's just kind of go through the experience of actually going into the lodge itself. Okay. So Ash, go ahead. Give me your first thoughts on the Wilderness Lodge.
Well, I love the Wilderness Lodge, and I think it is the hotel that when I walk into it, it definitely is the one that kind of takes my breath away the most, because the lobby is just huge. It's super tall and just overwhelming almost. I mean, it's beautiful. Yes. It looks beautiful during the holidays. Mm-hmm. But it's my favorite lobby of
absolutely
all the lobbies on property.
Right.
And I don't know. To be honest, it's not my favorite aesthetic.
Okay.
But I just love the feeling of being in there, and maybe it's just because of the design.
Really? It's not your favorite
structure.
Aesthetic? Okay.
No.
Because of its more darker tones.
Yeah, and I'm not super woodsy. For those of you familiar with the DVC locations for Wilderness Lodge, I really like the way Copper Creek looks. That is more my aesthetic. You're not focusing. Don't worry about that.
You're talking.
But and Boulder Ridge is less of my liking. But I mean, beautiful. Just, we all have our preferences. So the Wilderness Lodge in general isn't my favorite. It's those darker tones, which is funny because I like the Polynesian. So it just depends. But the lobby itself is that's enough for me to want to stay there. I love the lobby.
Yes.
It's just, it feels warm and inviting, and I
there's
like it there.
Something absolutely okay. So, if in case you're not familiar, it's basically based off of the Pacific Northwestern lodges. Specifically, Yellowstone Lodge, Old Faithful Inn. There's a lot of there's another hotel in the Pacific Northwest. Basically, it's just a Pacific Northwestern motif. And designed, so a lot of Native American influences, American Indian influences. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And when you walk in to the Wilderness Lodge, you cannot help but be, Ashley said, overwhelmed, right? It's just this incredible, I would say epic, lobby. It's just beautiful. And I remember when I first stayed there, which was in 1997.
What?
Yeah, the resort had just opened in 94, but we didn't go to Disney. We like took a break for like 4 years. The family did, and we did not go back to Disney until 1997. And when we went in 97, they used to play the soundtrack from The Last of the Mohicans in the lobby. So it was like this incredible, like, epic
I didn't know that.
sounding. Oh, yeah. It was like...
Is that why you picked it for...
It was so good. Well, they didn't play that specific track. That's part of it. But they played, like, the other main theme. And it was just when you walked in and that music was playing... And you just were just like, wow. I mean, we're talking, it's a huge, like, what? It's a 8-story resort. But the lobby goes up and up and up. And there's these huge log pillars. And then there's huge totem poles. And a giant fireplace with, stone fireplace that basically goes all the way up to the top.
Which I know has hidden Mickeys. And I still want to find them.
Yes, it has hidden Mickeys in them. And inside the lobby of the Wilderness Lodge itself, there is a bubbling geyser. So like a little hot spring, basically. Not a geyser. The geyser's outside. But there's a hot spring that starts in the lobby. There's a little bridge that you walk over. And it goes like down.
I was going to say, you can hear
pool.
like rushing water when you.
Oh yeah, I mean,
the lobby, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. There's there's 4 giant chandeliers with different animals. Indian on horseback, buffalo, bear. Lots of different things. I mean, it's an incredible experience walking into the Wilderness Lodge.
Oh yeah.
It just is. You could tell that like Bass Pro Shops tried to like recreate that.
Totally.
After when they've opened up. So the Wilderness Lodge is definitely, probably bar none, the best lobby in Disney resorts. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people would agree with us. So the other thing about the Wilderness Lodge itself too is the fact that yes, it's a deluxe resort, but it's also, you have to realize it's a lodge. But I will tell you this: the rooms aren't super big.
They're not
in the actual lodge itself. Like they're not big.
They're
on the smaller side,
especially after just talking about contemporary rooms.
Right, contemporary rooms
like
in the tower are
as
huge.
They're really big.
Polynesian rooms are huge, but remember, you are paying a little less to stay at the Wilderness Lodge. Ash, you love that. What else do you love about it? What about the when you walk through the lobby? And then you go down to what do you think of the pool area?
The pool is also my favorite on property. The
really?
Regular resort. So I love the Wilderness.
It's your favorite lobby and your favorite pool.
100%.
Okay.
Stand by that. I love the pool area, like that little. What would you call that? Like the little waterfall it has from like the lobby
current
area. Like
from the hot spring.
And if you're out there at night, I think you can see the fireworks. Can't you from Magic Kingdom, or can you just hear them?
Oh, not sure. I don't think you could see them.
Maybe we could hear them, and in my mind, I thought we could see them.
I think you can if you go to a certain spot. Maybe.
But I remember being out there at night and in the pool, and it's just, you definitely feel... I feel the Wilderness Lodge does a great job of like making
immersing
you feel like you feel like not isolated, but that you're like in the wilderness. Kind of, but on a resort.
Right.
But it just has a really cool look to it out there. I think the pool is just really beautiful. I love the Roaring Forks.
Yes.
The quick dining service option they have there is a lot of good stuff.
And actually, you walk into the lobby, you're on the second floor. The lobby's actually on the second floor. because there's another floor that's actually ground level, and that's where Roaring Forks is. Yeah, so I mean, it's incredible. It's a really, the pool area. What's cool about the pool is that it's got that, there's a whole big, beautiful. So basically, like
tomorrow.
Funny. Cut it out. The phone.
No.
Okay.
I'm doing Instagram stuff. You just focus on yourself.
Let's do one thing at a time. Jeez.
Some people can multitask.
So basically, if you look at the layout of the Wilderness Lodge, the main area is like, there's the rooms on one side, rooms on the other side of a big courtyard, basically, where the pool is. So there's this giant area, the lobby, and then the pool area, with the hot spring that goes all the way down like a waterfall through all this rock work and streams, and it's just beautiful. And then there's actually, when you go down into the pool, there is a current from the hot spring and the waterfall that comes down. So it's actually really cool that you have this like, you could just stick to one part of the pool and actually like have resistance in the water, which I think is really fun.
Yeah, we were like in that part of the pool, but
yes. And what else is really neat too is that further back, so you go further back by the pool, there's the hot tubs are there, and if you can do this, pro tip, get yourself a nice drink, and go into the hot tub at night, and you'll basically see the lodge lit up, and you could see the main building lit up, and the lobby lit up, and the lights from the lodge. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. It's probably, I think it's definitely my favorite pool as well. Mm-hmm. Because it's open and there's a lot to look at. And then if you go beyond the hot tubs, every 15, 20 minutes or so, the geyser shoots up into the air, which is so cool. I mean, it's so cool. I mean, this is just like, again, remember, this takes its influence from Yellowstone, geysers, hot springs. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful pool area. I remember definitely, just loving, you just love the Wilderness Lodge. It's one of those things that you go to it, you want to go back. You want to stay there again.
Now that we're talking about it, I want to stay there.
Right. Yeah.
We haven't stayed there on property at the Wilderness Lodge for like 6 years now. But there's so much to, like, what's the name of that place that's out back now? Like Geyser Point. I would love to, have a drink there or whatever, look out.
Yeah, we actually had an interesting conversation with the bartender there. Mm-hmm. At Geyser Point, which is this, it's actually, again...
I just said that we walked, like, by it, so we were talking to the guy.
Well, we didn't stop in there.
They weren't, like, open yet, though.
Right,
I think
he was just kind of talking to us.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating to me is that the bartender basically said that summer is not good for him.
Yeah.
He said summer's not good for him. It's just a bunch of families that come in for like 3 or 4 days and they leave. And he said that the other parts of the year is when you get people that are more adults or whoever that stay, drink, watch the sports in Geyser Point.
Or maybe taking a longer vacation.
Paying them money, giving them bigger tips.
Well, Isn't
that fascinating?
They have time to,
chill.
Not pack their trip full of, just the theme parks, like just the parks and attractions. It's, like, let's go over to Geyser Point, or like those are the people that are going for rounds of golf or, whatever. But yeah, I really wouldn't have thought about that, but it was interesting to hear him talk about it.
Geyser Point is relatively new. It was built not that long ago.
But the view is, you're just looking out on the water.
At
and
Bay
you really
Lake.
do feel, like it's relaxing. I think it would be a nice relaxing break from the craziness of that Disney can be.
Absolutely. You if you want a beautiful view, good food too, they got some really good burgers. And things at Geyser Point, definitely worth checking out. But it was interesting, isn't it? The bartender's like, "Oh yeah, summer's not really great." And you think,
right? It's families with young kids. I would say majority, right?
Although now, I don't think that matters anymore. I think there's just people there all the time.
We do hear and read that doesn't seem to be the case. Summer used to be the busiest, and
Right,
now it's
right.
not. A lot of people come in the fall.
Yes.
I think the weather's a little bit more,
Yeah.
not as hot, and I think people just don't care as much about taking their kids out of school anymore.
Yes.
Like, they're just like, oh, let's just do it.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, people starting to just, well, now
Well, and I
Disney's
do
done...
think that they kind of cater to the locals in terms of events in the summer. Seems like that seems to be the busiest time for, like, add-on, last-minute, oh, here's another event.
It's weird that summer's the slowest season. From the latest bits of data is that people do not go in the summer as much as they used
really
to.
hot, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why, just because it's really hot.
Maybe.
Do you think so?
I
Why would
don't
you
know.
not go when the kids are out of
Maybe
school?
maybe just the trend is we don't want to go when we think everybody else is going, and now the trend is the opposite.
Yeah.
Everybody goes.
And I
different
mean,
parts.
there's like the food and wine. There's a lot of events.
You know what? There honestly is no major events in the summer anymore. There really
But
isn't.
that's what I mean. I think that they do.
The local
Those-
type merchandise events,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But like you're right, there's no food and wine. There's no not so scary. Although all of that stuff is now starting in August.
Yeah.
So like
they keep pushing it back.
keep pushing it.
Last year, our trip was in early August, right? Was it early
Yeah,
August?
yeah.
And then they, like, literally, I think Not So Scary started the day after we left,
Yeah.
which was,
Yes.
like, mid to early August. They had, like, put the decorations up, I think, the day we were leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, all right, now you've been in both the DVC side and the regular resort side, Ash. So let's talk about the resort room itself. What do you think about? So you say that the pool is your favorite pool and the lobby is your favorite lobby.
Yeah, I'm.
What
when I
about
talk
the actual
aesthetic,
resort
like,
rooms?
The room, it's just not like when I look at, to me this stuff isn't super important. But like when I look at the comforters and the walls and stuff, it's just not my favorite.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's very lodgy, and that makes sense because it's a lodge. But
Yes.
it's just not my favorite.
Yeah.
The rooms are a little bit smaller, but they're very nice. Honestly, it's such a long time ago that we stayed. I have like very faint memories of the room.
Well, we have a
trying
funny
to think.
story
Oh my
about.
gosh.
Okay, so let's take it. Now,
The whole story.
Let's do this trip. Let's talk about this.
This
So
is good, guys.
we decided, sort of at the last minute, that Ash and I, without telling our parents and without telling my sister and her husband, and
I think we should start before that because don't act like.
What do you mean before what?
Because
I am going before that.
Man, you guys are seeing
What?
it, right? No,
Like,
there's,
what?
there's
I mean,
part of the story you're missing.
Don't
I'm not
stop
gonna let
me.
you-
Go ahead. What?
I will.
Go ahead. What? What do you?
Well, Jim's parents and his sister and husband and their kids were all going on a trip together. And we were over at your parents' house before we were married. We were engaged, right? And
Yes.
Yeah, so no kids, we were engaged. And we were in the pool at your parents' house, and we were joking about how we were going to, crash their trip.
Oh,
And
I don't remember
your
this.
mom was like, you should, and then we were like, no, we're not going to do that, whatever. But then that's how it got in our head. And then we kept thinking about how we should do it, but we never mentioned it again. I vividly remember this, being
Okay.
in the pool at your parents' house, and your mom, that was the reason why I was okay with it. Because
Oh,
she sort
okay.
of made it sound like if we
You
did do
should.
that,
Okay,
that it would be totally fine.
that's funny. Okay,
Yes.
I don't. Now I think I'm remembering that.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Well, sass. Don't give me sass.
I will.
All right. So,
So anyways, fast forward to...
and then fast forward. We actually the morning of that. This was kind of a twofold situation that was happening. So my parents were going, and they were going to actually surprise my nephews, and show up at the Wilderness Lodge with them.
Yeah, surprise grandparents.
Well, then, yeah, so the surprise grandparents thing happened. And then what we decided we were going to do is we were going to surprise the actual grandparents. So we walked into Midway Airport, remember where this podcast is, people that should be familiar with
Magic
that.
in the Midwest.
Right. Go to Midway, Southwest, Airlines, Midway Airport.
You're in Group C.
Yes.
Not sitting together.
Because you didn't
30 seconds late on your login.
10.3 seconds. Still get into B group. So we walked up to Mom and Dad, Dad was reading the paper and Mom was just like looking at her phone or something, and we surprised them. So that was exciting because we were on the same flight as them. So that was cool. And then we get there, and then we had to go separately because my mom and dad, we basically crashed their room.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we only stayed for like 2 nights. Like, we only stayed for 2 nights, right?
Yeah.
Then we went back. Like, we just did a real quick trip.
Well, we had just been, and then we were going again for a honeymoon like 2 months
Right,
later.
right.
So
So
we
kind
just
of
like
crazy.
added on like a weekend.
Right,
Because
right.
that was the phase of life where you could do things like that.
Right. Yes. Now you have children and expenses. Oh, gosh.
Dang you, Harrison.
Oh, darn it, Harrison. And he's cute, too, so we can't just get rid of him. So, kidding.
Wait, is that the only... Because I
Yes,
can get rid of
if
you.
he wasn't cute. What? Terrible. Okay.
I just put in the Instagram story that you're cute.
Oh, thanks. So basically, we went... we had to drive separately. We had to get a cab because they were on the Magical Express. We did not have reservations, so we went and took a cab and made it to the lobby. And they must have had a ton of people like checking in that day because they don't always do this. This does not always happen. They had the resort greeters all ready to go in the front section, in the front part of the lobby of the, where you drive up. Of the Wilderness Lodge, and we were like, oh crap, like we had our bags and everything, and like this woman came up with the iPad and was gonna try get us set up and get us checked in or whatever it is we needed, and we were trying to avoid her.
Yeah, because we didn't have a reservation.
We didn't have a reservation, but we had all of our stuff.
Even though, your parents wouldn't have been charged more if there were more people staying in the room, would they?
I thought they would have.
Oh, they do?
I think you do get a little more charge.
Because it's not like over the capacity.
No.
But we were like trying to pretend, and they were just like, there were half the time it's like you
sort of
walk
like
up there.
really eyeing us.
Well, first we got stopped in the car.
We went in the side.
And then, well, luckily your name is the same as your dad, so you gave them your name.
Yeah.
And then they asked me if I was Irene, and I was like,
we didn't know what to do.
Yes.
We didn't know what to do. Yeah.
But I was like, do I say that? Because they probably already checked in. Like, are they not going to be able to check in if we do it first?
Yeah, we were confused. Yeah. We were confused. So, but anyway, so we did go in. I was like, Ash, let's go down this way. So I actually took us down a different path, and then we went in through the side, and everything was fine. But then, because remember, Molly and Mike, my brother-in-law, they don't know that we're there.
Right. They only know your parents are coming. The kids don't know anyone's coming.
The kids don't know anyone's coming. So we're trying to be real careful because my parents weren't there yet, and they weren't in their room yet. So we couldn't put our bags there yet.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? So we went down to Roaring Forks and just had a snack. We had lunch because we were hungry at that point. And we're in Roaring Forks, and we kind of went into a corner, we were on the lookout like a hawk the whole time. And who walks into the Roaring Forks with the resort mugs?
Brother-in-law.
But my brother-in-law, Mike, and we're like, oh my gosh.
So we're looking down into the side, and I'm like,
oh my god, look at Mike is
and
stupid.
he didn't see us. But we were like, all of a sudden, I'm sure the people next to us were like, what
What
you
is
guys
wrong with these
doing?
people? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which, a lot is wrong with us, but in that
Oh
moment,
my gosh,
so we avoided
awesome.
that. No, but there's more. So then your parents got there. We went up to the room with them, which they actually had a room next to Molly and Mike and the boys. Mm-hmm. But they were waiting to surprise them. So they're in the room. The boys don't know yet.
Yes.
And they're going to surprise them on the pier.
Yes.
As we're about, as when they were going to go to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
But the 4 of us are in there together, and then your sister Molly wanted to come over and talk to your mom.
Yeah.
And we wanted to still keep a secret that we were there, so you and I stood out on the balcony for 45 minutes.
We were on the balcony hiding. Which
their balconies
space.
are not big.
No.
So Jim stood on one side and I stood on the other side. But
we
then
were
you think about it, if
pasted
the boys
up against
had
the wall.
walked out,
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think there was like a divider sort of, but we were trying to, and we like, they just kept talking and you and I were just like looking at each other. And I think I really had to like pee. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny.
Yeah. So, needless to say, we were not detected until we wanted to be detected. Mom and Dad went up to them on the pier on the the boat on the way to Magic Kingdom, and then we followed Mom and Dad. It was cool. It was fun. It was exciting. It was exciting.
Yes,
we did not so scary that night.
Yeah, and you dressed up like a pirate and I put eyeliner on you.
Put some eyeliner on. It looked real good in eyeliner.
JB was
real good.
looking at himself in the mirror, talking about how much it brought out his eyes.
Oh, that's right. I got beautiful blue eyes. Okay. So anyway, so what did you think of the resort room? Not really your thing.
I mean,
the dark.
Let's be honest.
Darker
it's a Disney
trim.
Deluxe resort. It's beautiful.
Yes.
It's really nice in there. It's not my favorite aesthetic, and it is a little bit smaller than what you get at the other deluxe resorts, but it's nice, and it is the lowest price point, so I do get it.
Right.
Have they been up? So JB showing me a picture of the room. Is that what it looked like when we were there? I feel like that looks
No,
updated.
I think they updated it a little bit.
I kind of like that.
I
like the blue and
right.
Yeah, I do like that.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean it's pretty. It's yeah.
Yes.
I
So
like
those are there's different. That's a standard room. We were in a standard room. I mean, there's you could go up, right? There's club level rooms. There's you could be concierge level and do all that fancy stuff, right? But we also stayed at Boulder Ridge.
We did.
Which is the DVC part of the Wilderness Lodge.
And at the time it was
just
before
Boulder
Copper
Ridge.
Creek.
Yeah. Now there's Copper Creek, which is another side, a newer side, different aesthetic than Boulder Ridge. So there's two DVC resorts there. Mom actually bought into Copper Creek. That's her home resort.
Yeah.
So that's their home resort, which is really neat.
I would love to stay there sometime.
Yes. So Boulder Ridge is the place. What did you think of the actual... We were in a deluxe studio.
We were.
Yes.
Again, sort of like the main building. It's not my favorite aesthetic, but I will tell you, I did sort of like the building isn't it like a weird shape? Where it's like it feels... You're just like looking at me like...
It does. When you walk into the lobby, it feels strange. Like it's like almost like an octagon.
Okay,
yeah. It's like an octagon type of thing.
But I did notice that they had this little area where like the kids could watch like a movie, or they had like movie nights or something.
They had a cool steam train, like model train really in that lobby. That's really neat. Yeah. I think
and you know
really
what?
cool.
I didn't pay attention to that stuff as much at the time because we did not have Harrison when we stayed there. But one thing I definitely look at now is like the kids' activity center and where that is compared to the pool and that type of thing. So it was kind of cute where they had that, area where the kids could watch a movie.
Yes.
And they probably do movie nights and stuff.
Right.
Because the resorts are definitely not all created equal in that department. Like the kid activity centers and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it was cool. And you definitely feel like you're out, like, in the wilderness.
You do.
When you're looking out, our room anyways, I feel like there was like nothing behind us. I did not feel like I was at Disney when we were in our room.
Well, and that's another thing. They even took plants and trees and things that they knew from the Northwest that they knew they could plant in Florida and would survive.
Yeah.
So the landscaping, the plants, the life over there
what
is
you're
totally
looking
different.
at does not look like you're in Florida.
No.
Like you feel like you're somewhere else, which is the point. But I mean, they definitely achieved it.
And I remember and then you just listen and you could just hear the frogs and the crickets at night. It's crazy. It's like super loud.
It's really
awesome.
cool. But for me, when I'm in Disney, I do like to feel like I'm in Disney. That's just me.
Right.
So,
and you don't think you feel like you're in Disney.
Not when I stay in Boulder Ridge. For some reason, it just felt more removed, which some people seek out. They like that. But I kind of like when we stayed on the boardwalk and there's a lot happening on the boardwalk in front of you all the time. Or, if you're at the Polynesian, you can see the Magic Kingdom, you can see the fireworks. There's just sort of like a lot happening in front of you where the Wilderness Lodge...
like the secluded part of that.
That's just not my favorite.
Okay.
It was very relaxing, but
And there is a separate pool for Boulder Ridge, right? So there's a separate pool area that's just dedicated to that. Again, there's no resort beverage station, I don't think, right there. So I think you have to go all the way to Roaring Forks.
I don't really remember the pool. I feel like maybe it's not as great as other DVC.
I mean, it's a bigger pool area.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't really remember.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not like it's some small... I mean, it's legit.
For some reason in my
it's
mind,
been
it
redone,
seems like
too.
small. Okay. And I know the rooms that we stayed in were also redone. Like
right.
Boulder Ridge had a refurb since we've stayed there.
Yes. So it's good. I mean, it's again, it's a nice... And what's cool about the DVC Boulder Ridge part is that you walk out and you're really close to the bus stop.
That's true.
You're very close. Like, you just kind of offshoot and you walk down the path a little bit and you're right there. Mm-hmm. Whereas, if you're in the inn, you've got a little bit more of a walk. So it is closer to the bus.
Yeah.
Which is, and unfortunately, there's only really two forms of transportation from the Wilderness Lodge. There's only a bus. Or a boat. And the boat only takes you to Magic Kingdom. So.
Or the Contemporary.
Well, I mean, you could go to the Contemporary too. And then hop on a monorail if you wanted to, have that experience.
Have lunch somewhere on the monorail.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yes. Now, we did this. Last thing we're going to talk about is dining. So let's first talk about the Whispering Canyon Cafe.
We had a really good experience there. We
did breakfast.
We did breakfast.
And this is the one where you said you were lactose intolerant.
Well, because, you answered the phone and you said I had a dairy allergy, which for those of you that have food allergies know that that's very different than saying you're lactose intolerant. I can take lactate and pretty much, eat some dairy, like if there's just a little bit mixed in or something like that.
Right,
but our server, had a note about it, and he laid out all the options I could have that would be dairy free, and he had all these little special things in my food saying making sure that this was right, and he was very helpful. So they are very accommodating when it comes to, food allergies, at least in my experience, even though I don't really have one. But he was a really nice guy. I mean, he was talking to us about how he was, what was he, a vet?
Yeah, he was a vet. He still was a vet. He was still taking care of.
He was just doing this on the weekends or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, he's just doing it to get some extra cash.
But the food was good, and it was really great to sit there and be able to see the lobby because it's open to the lobby. Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't the most amazing breakfast food of all time, but
it comes. What's cool?
It was good.
It comes in a giant skillet.
Well, I think we ordered that.
Yeah,
it was a family style type breakfast, kind of like you get at Ohana. A certain type of whatever. But it was good. I thought it was a good experience, and I would do it again.
Yes.
And I liked it.
Well, and then, of course, we did, Whispering Canyon, we did the breakfast. And the breakfast is not, I think they've actually scaled this back. But, for dinner, they used to do, this, it was much more like a Primetime Cafe or Ed DeBevick's where, it was louder, more boisterous. If you wanted to catch up, there was this big thing that you wanted to catch up. I just want to say real quick too,
that was nice. It was a nicer restaurant, but I definitely wasn't worried about Harrison making noise or something.
Right.
There was the hustle and bustle of the lobby and everything going on. So.
Well, it is right next to the lobby, right? It's it's actually in the lobby basically.
Yeah, you look out at the lobby.
Right. So it's cool, it's fun, and again, it's a different. They've scaled it back, I think, in recent years. But it is a more louder, more fun.
Where does
the
it
servers
fall on the price range?
I can't see two. How they have those
dollar signs.
$2 signs, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, not really $3, I don't think. But anyway, so it's cool. It's a nice, cool dining room. It's fun to eat there. It's good food. It's solid food. And then, of course, there's Roaring Forks, which is, has, since we've been there, it's actually upgraded a lot. And my nephew said that there's a burger there. And brother-in-law said there's a burger at Roaring Forks that's amazing. And I can't remember the name of the burger.
And it's a real burger, not like a veggie burger.
No, it's a real burger.
We'll have to ask them.
Yeah, shoot. I'll have to figure that out. All right. And then, of course, there's Artist Point, which now is totally different. Artist Point is also off the lobby, but further back, further into the resort. Roaring Forks, Artist Point was the signature dining of Wilderness Lodge because it overlooks the beautiful pool area and the beautiful rock formations and things like that. And we actually ate there before when it was just more of a formal setting, right? A formal dinner setting. Mm-hmm. Now it is a character dining experience, which I hear is amazing. They've added some like foresty type elements, so there's like leaves and branches above you, and it's all the characters from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
I love that.
So that's cool.
It is cool.
Exclusive to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, type of experience. And the Queen herself.
Makes sense because like the woods and
it's a prefix menu, now, but it wasn't always. When we were there on our honeymoon, we had the original experience, and you loved it. I mean, I thought it was your favorite.
I don't order seafood a lot, but I got salmon when we were there, and it was I get really good. I also got good salmon. Where else? The Rose and Crown.
Yes,
but it was very good salmon. And the service was great. I was pretty sure that it was like Elton John who waited on us.
Yeah.
So if he also does some work at Disney. I know
tables.
He's probably listening, so thank you, Elton John.
Like a candle in Louis.
Serving us.
Yeah.
There. But he was very helpful, and I know people didn't always give that restaurant the best reviews, but I thought the food was outstanding. I thought the service was great.
Really great.
He was really good.
Yes.
And for someone that has a full-time music career, I was just surprised he put that much effort into his
Thanks for taking a break from the
second
piano,
job.
Buddy. Yeah. From the Ivory Keys.
Yeah.
So
it was good.
Yeah, I think I had a fillet or something, and it was good. It was really good.
And I think we got dessert, and he helped us pick out drinks and
it was
everything.
Really great. It was great. We had a
JB
wonderful.
and I don't know what we're doing.
Not really.
Help us.
One time, someone asked us at a restaurant what Someone asked us.
Oh my god!
What temperature we wanted our meat? And I was like, I was so confused.
92.
I was like, temperature? I got really confused. Ash was confused.
Temperature makes it sound like I'm supposed to give a specific number.
And I'm not used to someone saying that.
But they looked at us like we were the dumbest people alive and was like, rare or medium rare.
Oh.
Why did you phrase it like that?
Yeah, temperature.
What temperature?
I don't get that either. So Artist Point is a great... and now I really want to go back to Artist Point because I want to go to the Storybook Dining. With Snow White, Dopey, and Grumpy, and of course the Queen. I think she comes.
And I'll
be
there too. I'll fit in with all those characters.
That's right. Funny.
I was making fun of myself.
Oh, you're not Dopey.
No, Grumpy.
Oh, Grumpy. Yes. So we love Disney's Wilderness Lodge. Honestly, I think when you think Disney Resort, when you think Disney theming, when you think Disney. Nobody cares. Okay, I'm kidding. We think Disney theming, and design and aesthetic. They really knocked it out of the park with the Wilderness Lodge. So there's still lots of stories that we didn't really get to with the Wilderness Lodge, but that's okay. We'll revisit them at another time. So great, Ash. Any last words before we wrap it up here?
No, just, we would love to hear from you. So if you, and your thoughts or experiences or memories on Wilderness Lodge or Contemporary or anywhere on property, so you can email us at magicinthemidwestpodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram, and also make sure you check us out on Bandcamp. We would love to have you be part of the community.
Yes.
And so you can listen to our exclusive
podcast. Hey, shushy. magicinthemidwestpodcast.bandcamp.com. You get access to our other shows, which are the Attraction Smackdown episodes, which are fantastic. Lots of fun. So please, ladies and gentlemen, rate and review us on iTunes. Let us know how we're doing. Subscribe, share. Do whatever you can. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, and vote on the Instagram stories.
Yeah,
definitely check it out.
We put a lot of effort into that, so make sure you do that.
Yeah. Well, I do.
All right. Yes. Whatever. From the Midwest. See you later.